The individual on the left-hand side, his name is Thomas Johnson, who is 37 years old. The lady on the right is Emily Trevathan. I don't like, what kind of names do these people have? Trevathan is her last name. Trevathan. Maybe that's a common name. Maybe I'm just the dummy. But Evelyn is 24 years old. Why she look like she's somebody's grandmother is beyond me. But they both are out of North Carolina, and they were arrested in connection to the slaying of that foresaid black woman by the name of Brittany Simone Smith, who was 28 years old. Johnson and Trevathan were arrested by authorities during a traffic stop in Raleigh, North Carolina on Wednesday, February the 10th, only about 3, 4, 5 days ago. Both are accused of killing Smith, and this is according to Wake County Sheriff's Office. Hashtag not my words for this first part. Both are accused of killing Smith, who was last seen on February the 4th. The body of the missing pregnant mother, and I'm going to repeat that. The body of the missing pregnant woman. This has a lot of layers to it. This woman was pregnant, and she was found stuffed in a suitcase on Monday. No one deserves to die like that, her friend Dale Williams told the news. Frightened, in pain, and alone. Let me see. Brooke Pennell Ferriol, I can't pronounce her name. Her friend let me see. Her cousin by the name of Brooke spoke to the news and said only monsters could have killed a pregnant woman. Smith's boyfriend by the name of Cody Page, and I'm going to say that again. Let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. This woman had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend said that she was involved with drugs and had a secret life. I want you guys to remember, this is not me saying this. They gave an interview to the news, which makes the news basically a third party once they put it out on TV and in these articles. So this is not my words. I'm literally just telling you from a fourth party standpoint what her own boyfriend said about her. He's saying that she was caught up in some illicit deeds, and shout out to Illicit Deeds, by the way, because I think they posted this story on Facebook. Said that she had a secret life that was involved with drugs. You also have to remember that this woman was pregnant. You also have to remember that this woman was in a relationship, a full-blown relationship. Then the third thing you have to ask is, how does that match with these two individuals? That's a lot to think about. We're also going to talk about that tent that you guys see right there in that picture. It's a whole lot to unravel with this story. No pun intended. That woman was my heart and soul. This is according to her boyfriend. She was my backbone. She was the answer to my question, according to Cody Page, her boyfriend. She had a secret life, and she wouldn't keep me informed. She was doing stuff that I didn't agree with. So, if we can stop and pause there just for a moment. He said that she led a secret life and that it was involved with drugs, but the way that he described her is that he said that this woman was his heart and soul, his backbone, and the answer to my question. Is it okay if I, and hopefully you guys can let me know in the chat, is it okay if I call this boyfriend, Cody Page, a full-fledged simp? Is it okay for me to call him that? Because that's what I believe he is. I'm sorry, but you can't wipe your behind and then hand it to me and expect me to accept it. That makes absolutely no sense. This woman is disrespecting you, playing you, lying to you, holding things above your head, and this woman is pregnant with your kid. What kind of a man are you? What kind of a man is that? What kind of a boyfriend is that? You are not holding this woman accountable. You are not protecting your child that could have been. And on top of that, and let me say this, and I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. Maybe the boyfriend, since he being such a damn simp, he should be arrested. Let me tell you why. Because if this woman was complicit with drugs and doing illegal activities, then guess what that means for the boyfriend? That's right. Potentially jail time. Because you knew that this woman was involved in illegal activities. You allowed it to happen. You saw something, didn't say anything. And the fact that you knew that she was pregnant, and then you continued to allow this to happen. However this came about. Do y'all agree that the boyfriend, Cody Page, should be investigated and potentially arrested and charged partially with her death? I do. But let's keep going. Cody Page said he saw text messages between Smith and Johnson last week in which Johnson said that he was going to pick Smith up. That was the last time that Page saw her. A statement from the sheriff's office fails to reveal what led investigators on this case to detain the suspects. The search for Smith began over the weekend. On Monday, the Wake County Sheriff's Office opened a homicide investigation from a missing persons case following the discovery of a body that was stuffed in a bag near the shoreline of the Neuse River in Raleigh. Neuse River, go figure for that name, right? It's pretty ironic. The Neuse River, but she was found stuffed in a suitcase. I'm just saying that's a really weird name. Police alleged that Smith was strangled to death. Again, Neuse River, strangled to death, right? And noose, they spell Neuse. So it's not like noose like we're used to seeing. But Neuse River, and she was strangled. However, no motive for the killing has been determined. Page, who was recovering from his own addiction, said processing the loss of Smith, whom he had been with for 7 years, is unbearable. I actually feel physical pain because my other half is gone. I'll never be able to hug my baby again, Page said. Johnson and Trevathan are being held in the Wake County Detention Center with zero bond. Those two assholes right there. We'll come back to them here in a moment. But right now I'm going to deal with the baby mom, the missing woman, and boyfriend. We're going to deal with those two first. Both of them are being held on charges of murder and murder of an unborn child and concealment of a body. So let me ask you guys a question real quick before we get further into this. And again, if you guys are listening, we are currently live. Please click the thumbs up, share this stream, let more people know that we're live. I want more people to be involved in this conversation. A lot of y'all sent me this story because y'all wanted to hear what I had to say about it. Okay? But now I want to hear what y'all got to say. Let me ask y'all a question. That woman died a horrific death. To be strangled and stuffed in a suitcase, that's just so messed up on so many levels. And I want everybody to understand where I stand with that. That's not okay. That's wrong. And that sucks. That sucks that they did that to her. And on top of that, this woman was pregnant. Let me ask you guys a question. Here's my question. How many of you guys feel sorry for her? I do, just a little bit. But answer it honestly. How many of you guys feel really bad for her and your heart bleeds for this mother, for this woman, for this black person? Remember, we talk about Black Lives Matter. I'm assuming that there are a lot of people who cared about this, right? I'm assuming that Black Lives Matter was all over this case and they were out protesting in the streets about this murder and all of that stuff, right? Or maybe they weren't out protesting this. Maybe her life didn't matter so much to Black Lives Matter and that innocent fetus that this woman was pregnant with. Ready for this? It's kind of hard for me to feel sorry for her and for her boyfriend. First and foremost, let me say this. They both were on drugs. That's a choice that they made. That's the bed that you made and you lay in it. This is why you're told from early on not to get involved with drugs. Just say no to drugs. We could look into this whole conspiracy with the United States of America and all of that, pumping drugs and all of that. We could do all of that, but we're not going to do it tonight. We're just going to say that we have to hold each other accountable, our family members accountable, and let's just say this. They should have never gotten involved with drugs. And on top of that, they were conscious, they were aware of what they were doing, and they chose to have unprotected sex with each other, which is something they did not have to do, but they did. They created a conception, a child to be, an unborn child. And on top of that, how many of you guys feel sorry for a mother that knew that she was pregnant and still continuing to do drugs, lying to her boyfriend, deceiving her boyfriend, and harming her child, her unborn fetus, in the process? She knew that she was pregnant and continued to live this dangerous lifestyle, and people want to feel sorry and bad for her. The only person I feel bad for in this entire story is the unborn child, because that baby, we're the AFC. I want y'all to remember, that's why our priority is first, so don't get mad about what I'm saying, okay? Advocates for Children. DJ Just J is a part of the Advocates for Children First. That unborn fetus can't speak for itself, it can't defend itself, and its body is going to be so messed up even if that woman would have given birth to that kid. That child may or may not have survived because of all the drugs in her body, huh? Did anybody think about that for a moment? You know what kind of birth defects this kid could have had? Child maybe could not have survived. And on top of that, and shout out to Tommy once again, because this is a point that he talks about all the time, is the high rate of mothers who have kids. The what do they call that? The death rate of mothers trying to give birth in America is absolutely asinine. The chances of a mother in America giving birth and dying is very high. I forget what you call that, but it's a very, very high rate. So it's already hard enough to try to do the right thing and have a kid. But let's move past that point. Let me talk about two other things, because somebody else in the chat caught it. Two things. First thing is the family of this woman came out and said that the senseless violence against women needs to stop. They said that the violence against women, pregnant women, and black women needs to stop. You know what we say about that in the South? When we have some real doubt about what people are saying, we say, Really though? Really? Senseless violence must stop. Let's think about that for a minute. So this woman was living an illicit lifestyle, lying to her boyfriend, doing some strange things to probably get some change, right? Doing drugs, harming a baby, and putting herself around just the worst kind of people. But they're saying that the violence was perpetrated against her. I think drugs and violence all goes together. Does it not? Do we all not know that? This woman was, how old was she? 28? 28 years old. 28 years. Yeah, we're going to talk about the family. Thank you. Thank you, Ann. I'm so glad this live chat is open. Y'all are thinking tonight. Thank you. Thank you for listening with an open mind and an open heart. They said, why didn't the family help? We're going to talk about that here in a moment. 28 years old, 24 years old, 37 years old, and they didn't mention how old the boyfriend is, so I'm going to assume that he's probably close to about 30 years old. And you mean to tell me that you're talking about that these people are way past grown, like we like to say, and they don't know how dangerous the drug game is where they live at around the world. They had no idea. We're gonna treat them like children and say, oh, well, they just didn't know no better. This mother didn't know what this lifestyle was gonna lead to. Really? And then you're saying the violence perpetrated against her. Well, what about the violence perpetrated against her own unborn seed that she clearly didn't care about? Two more things real quick before I show y'all the news videos. Two more things. I want y'all to notice something because we're going to talk about this. I want y'all to take a look at a picture. Where is it at? I got a couple pictures of it, but let me show y'all something real quick. I'm going to pause it right here. I want y'all to look at this picture. Can y'all see that clearly, or do I need to make it bigger? I might need to make that bigger. Y'all might not be able to see that. Can everybody see what's in that picture? If you can't, let me know. I will make it bigger for you. That right there. But let's blow it up. Can everybody see what that is right there? Can anybody tell me what that is in the woods right there? For those of y'all who feel bad for the mom. Yes, it's a big ass nasty tent. A so-called outside home. I want y'all to understand that this mother who was, or soon to be mother, I don't know if she was actually a mother or not, if she already had kids, she was pregnant, doing drugs, lying to her boyfriend, and they were living in this tent that you see on my screen. You don't have money. Clearly you don't have common sense. But you're going to turn around and create a kid and force a kid to live in these type of circumstances? But somebody is still going to tell me that I'm wrong for what I'm saying. They were living in a tent, and it was not even a nice tent. It was a nasty, cheap-looking, filthy tent with trash all around. Let me see if I can show y'all some more pictures. Like this one. Can y'all see this? I think I might have maybe one or two more pictures of this tent in these decrepit conditions. Let me see. This outside of somebody's house. Y'all can see this, right? I know I got a couple more pictures in here somewhere. Look at that, man. And on top of that, like the person in the chat said, we feel so bad for her. And then the family wants to come out and say that the violence was perpetrated against her. Why is it that they didn't have a place to stay, a roof over their head, bringing children into this world, and none of the family reached out to house her? None of the family put her in their house. But we want to feel bad for her, but the family didn't even feel bad enough for her to help her. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Let me give y'all the fair usage, because I know some of y'all are pissed off and don't understand where I'm coming from. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, if you guys would, do me a favor. We only have 280 thumbs up. We should have 400 thumbs up. So if y'all would, please click the thumbs up. And I will try my best not to pause too many times in these videos, okay? We're at 200 thumbs up. We need 400. 400. Please click the thumbs up.
A body is found in a suitcase along the Neuse River. Now investigators working to learn whether she is a pregnant woman who was reported missing. CBS 17's Holden Kowicki has been covering this story for us today and joins us live with the very latest. Holden.
Well, Russ, the coroner has since removed the body, but investigators spent the day combing this entire area from the woods all the way down to this area where the body was ultimately found. Now, while the identity of the victim has yet to be released, Sheriff Baker confirmed that they had been combing this area throughout the weekend looking for 28-year-old Brittany Simone Smith, a pregnant woman who was last seen Thursday. Smith's family has been here at the scene off and on throughout the day, but Sheriff Baker stopped short of giving them the closure that they're looking for until the body can be properly identified.
If this is in fact this young lady that we've been looking for all weekend long, someone is responsible for that. That just doesn't happen.
Again, the body was found in a suitcase, and Sheriff Baker says that it is safe to call this a homicide, and they are investigating it as such. If you have any information that could help investigators, you're being asked to call Raleigh Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in Raleigh, Holden Kowicki, CBS 17 News.
The two people accused of killing a pregnant woman and disposing of her in a suitcase will stay in custody without bond. Both Emily Trevathan and Thomas Johnson appeared in court today. They are accused of killing 28-year-old Brittany Smith. Court documents say she was 6 months pregnant with a boy. Deputies found her body in a suitcase on Monday near the Neuse River in Wake County. She'd been reported missing on Thursday of last week. In court, neither suspect was given bond. They will be back in court next month. Deputies have not yet released a motive.
Now, breaking news from CBS 17 News.
We are following two breaking stories tonight. The shooting death of a UPS driver. But first, new at 11, new information from the Wake County Sheriff on the woman's body found in a suitcase in Windell. CBS 17's Amy Cutler just talked to the sheriff. So, Amy, what do we know tonight?
They have confirmed at this point, the sheriff has confirmed that the body found was that of the missing pregnant woman, Brittany Smith. We also know that they have arrested a couple in connection with this. They are now being processed at the Wake County Detention Center. The sheriff saying that they were taken into custody during a traffic stop. We want to get right to those mugshots now. These are the two suspects that have been arrested. They've been identified as 37-year-old Thomas Johnson and his girlfriend, 24-year-old Emily Trevathan. The sheriff wouldn't say how the suspects knew the victim, Brittany Smith. We know Smith, who was pregnant, was reported missing Friday. She was last seen Thursday. Investigators say she died from strangulation and somehow a motel room was involved. Smith's body found stuffed in a suitcase found near the shoreline of the Neuse River in Raleigh on Monday. Authorities suspected it was likely Smith, but now we have confirmation. Investigators working this case round the clock.
Through numerous interviews and search warrants, investigators were able to obtain a probable cause to get these warrants. We have just finished interviewing both of them, and they are currently being processed out at the Wake County Detention Center as we speak.
Very emotional. Imagine that. It's a young person, young lady, regardless of what type of life, how life is for any of us. You know, no one deserves to have their life taken.
Now, these suspects will be charged, the sheriff says, with murder of an unborn child, and concealment of a body. The sheriff saying that his thoughts and prayers are with Smith's family. Now, the specifics of this, the motive, the details, still investigators are being tight-lipped about this because they tell me the case, the investigation, remains ongoing.
And I'm going to tell y'all, I don't really know what the motive is. I think I'm going to try to give y'all a motive, but do you guys want to hear what one of the family members had to say? I'm going to let y'all hear her interview, but I want y'all to vote for this in the chat. Yes, it was the Neuse River, N-E-U-S-E, Neuse River. And keep in mind, they said that she was strangled. The Neuse River. Anyway, but guys, we are at 307 thumbs up. We're doing really good, but we need 93 more people to click that thumbs up to bring us to 400. If y'all can help us do that, we need 93 people who are listening to the sound of my voice right now to click that thumbs up to help share the stream, let a few more people know that we're live. I know it's really late, but like I said, a lot of people are snowed in and can't go anywhere. So I definitely want to give as many people a chance to know that we're live right now, okay? So if y'all would, please click that thumbs up. Why was she in a suitcase? There's a lot. Why was she living in a tent? There is a lot of things we could ask. That's a great question, though. Why was she living in a tent? Why was she doing drugs? Why did she have a boyfriend? Why didn't the family help? Why was she living in the back of somebody's house? Why did these people kill her? You're asking, is it racist or drug related? I think it was 100% drug related. I don't think race had anything to do with it at all. Because I want y'all to remember, she been lying to her boyfriend according to his words. She been lying to the boyfriend. So no, I don't think this was motivated by race at all. But here's one of the family members. I will let y'all hear this, and if y'all can't hear it, I'll turn it up as far as the volume. Here we go.
On February 9th, 2021, we received the tragic news that our loved one, Brittany Simone Smith, was brutally murdered and her body found in a suitcase near the Neuse River. Yesterday we learned that our beautiful daughter, mother, granddaughter, sister, niece, cousin, and friend was snatched away from our lives and the lives of her innocent children. She is no longer with us to laugh, cry, dance, change, and become a woman of her full potential. Her baby did not get the opportunity to grow, love, play, and to get to know his brother. Today, Brittany has become another number in the thousands of missing Black women who are killed. Someone discarded Brittany Simone Smith and her baby like they did not matter, and we want justice for all the persons involved in the crime. We demand justice for Brittany Simone Smith because unfortunately she is unable to stand up for herself. Over 64,000 Black women are missing in the United States, and the media rarely reports it. Unfortunately, our Brittany was one in that enormous number, and the news did not use this opportunity to spread awareness about her disappearance.
Wow. So we're going to blame this on the news? Wait a minute. See, that's what my problem is. Because they're spreading this like, Lord have mercy. This is so scary how people can literally make the most messed up choices and it's always somebody else's fault. Let me explain to y'all this. Do y'all remember the Gorilla Glue hair girl? Y'all remember her? And she turned around and this stupid broad sprayed super glue on her freaking head and had the nerve to blame the company. I know 2-year-olds that know not to spray freaking Gorilla Glue in their hair. But I guess when you're grown and stupid, I guess it don't matter. You can always, as long as society continues to allow people to say it was always somebody else's fault, I could always point the finger somewhere else. We are never going to get anywhere. Okay? This woman put herself in the most dangerous positions, the worst positions, and then did it when she was 6 months pregnant. So at no point that you found out you were pregnant, not after month 1, not after month 2, not after your first trimester, you're already in your second trimester going on your third. 2 trimesters, and nothing about that said, I need to go get help. I need to get out of this situation. I need to protect my kid. I need to stop doing drugs. And by the way, y'all are asking who said she was doing drugs. Her boyfriend, who was screwing her and got her pregnant, said that they both were doing drugs. It's always somebody else's fault. Matter of fact, while we're talking about the Gorilla Glue hair girl, do y'all know that they actually took a picture of her buying a brand new Mercedes Benz off the showroom floor with that money that she got for supposedly being ripped off by the Gorilla Glue company? Did y'all know that? She opened up a GoFundMe and that chick turned around and went and bought a brand new Mercedes Benz off the showroom floor. Hashtag babies for benefits. These people in society as a whole ain't gonna learn until y'all cut their water off and force them to live with the stupid decisions that they make. Case in point, stop making it seem like people hate black folks and people hated this black woman and they wanted to see her die. No, she was living an illicit lifestyle, and the lifestyle is what caught up to her, just like it does with everybody. Matter of fact, and I remember this in the movie New Jack City, and shout out to them in that movie, where he said, death doesn't care what color you are. It's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a death thing, and death doesn't give a shit about color. Neither do drugs. And that's probably one of the realest things, one of the realest statements I have heard, because it definitely applies. It ain't about color, it ain't about race, but this woman is gonna make this all about race. This is why I think her interview was stupid. But let's continue.
We are thankful for the work that the Sheriff's Department has completed after the discovery of Brittany's body that led to the two suspects being found. We are thankful that once Brittany's body was located, that she became a priority and that they worked diligently to find the two suspects. However, we cannot say that our experience thus far has all been pleasant. The Sheriff's Office has not been cooperative and has failed to provide the family with the common decency of information. We had to learn the essential details from the news. We learned of her cause of death from the news. We learned about the gender of her baby from the news. I'm sorry. All of this information and more has been requested of the Sheriff's Department, and yet they let the public know more than us. We have not even received the autopsy report. This case has gained national attention, and we are here to let you know that this case is long from solved. The family has provided the Sheriff's Department with numerous tips, and we are requesting that all the tips be investigated.
We have somebody in the chat, and I want y'all to remember, we don't want anybody blocked or timed out, but you're saying, how dare I blame a woman murder on her drug habit? Well, here's the thing that maybe you don't understand. Maybe your parents didn't teach you any value. Maybe parents didn't teach you how to be self-reliant, responsible, and be a good citizen in the United States of America. But most logical, right-thinking, law-abiding citizens understand this one thing. Drugs don't lead to anything good, and it is a choice. Nobody takes the needle to your arm and forces it in your arm. Nobody forces your mouth open and then starts throwing pills down your throat. Nobody snatches your nostrils open and start funneling coke up into your nose. Nobody takes that glass dick and then click the thing, put the little drugs in there, light it. I don't know how you do it. I just seen the movie New Jack City. I'm sorry. I don't know how to actually do it. But nobody sticks that glass pipe in your mouth and smokes it and enjoys it and continues to go back and look for the high. So, and then on top of that, the fact that you knew that you were pregnant, knew that you were having unprotected sex, you know that having sex leads to babies, then you know that doing drugs will lead to killing your child. I guess we're just going to ignore the fact that the drug usage alone will kill the child, huh? You can just ignore that, okay? Let's just ignore the children. How about we, you know what, how about we just cancel our whole damn channel? What's the point of advocating for children when we could go out and advocate for grown, stupid-ass adults? How about that? How about that? Let me give a shout out to our new channel member, Gabriela Torres. Clearly somebody understands, and I want to say thank you. Thank you, sister, so much for joining the channel membership. Clearly some people in the chat understand what I'm saying. I didn't think I had to break it down that much for people to understand what I'm saying. Advocate for children first. And that's so scary to me that we've been doing this for 3 years and people still don't understand that what I'm saying is that everything was done wrong for this child. First and foremost, your lifestyle is not conducive to raise a child, to get pregnant with a child. Your lifestyle is not conducive to have sex, huh? Let alone that you're having sex and don't have a roof over your head. You don't have insurance. You don't have health care for the kid. You're probably not taking prenatal pills. You're probably not having prenatal care, huh? You probably don't have diapers. You probably don't have wipes. You probably don't have bottles. You probably don't have a crib. You don't have a plan. You don't have a future for this child. Do I make myself clear? Are we just going to ignore all of that? I guess so, but I'm going to let you continue to do it. It was just some points that I wanted to bring up and speak on. So like I said, you're only allowing me to basically cover some things that I was thinking in my head. And I know most people understand. I know we're going to always have that 1% out there that act like they don't understand what I'm saying. Like this woman and like one or two people in the chat, but it's okay.
To their fullest extent. We want all parties involved in this crime to be found and prosecuted. From accomplice to conspirator to murderer, we want justice. We have reason to believe that more than the two people are involved, and they all need to be found. Yes, we are outraged, and any decent person should understand. Brittany did not die of natural causes. Her body was found in a suitcase. Her baby, Aspen's life, choked out. We are filled with sadness and anger about it.
Let's go to the next video.
More than 24 hours have now passed since a body was found inside a suitcase along the Neuse River in northeast Raleigh. And the Wake County Sheriff's Office has yet to ID the body or release the cause of death. However, as CBS 17's Holden Kurwicki found out today, friends of a pregnant Wake County mother are holding out hope it is not her.
In the hours following the discovery of a woman's body inside of a suitcase,
no one deserves to die like that, frightened, in pain, alone.
Wake County Sheriff's deputies served a search warrant on this Windell home.
I offered to let them in because I had nothing to hide.
According to Dale Williams, deputies weren't interested in what's inside of his home, but rather outside, where 28-year-old Brittany Simone Smith and her boyfriend Cody Page have been living for months.
And did y'all hear that? They said the mother and the boyfriend had been living in that tent for months outside of that man's house, his house. So nobody's gonna call that out. Not for days, not for weeks, for months. But I guess that's okay though. They've been living out in the back of his house, not inside his house, not on his patio, on the freaking ground in a tent for months.
Deputies weren't interested in what's inside of his home, but rather outside, where 28-year-old Brittany Simone Smith and her boyfriend Cody Page have been living for months.
I didn't have the means to put her up inside, you know, but this certainly beats living under a bridge.
When Smith disappeared Thursday night, he says Page was beside himself.
He was completely devastated.
Deputies questioned Page after Smith's disappearance, but I've confirmed that he isn't considered a suspect.
And Cody loved her very much.
While Williams waits for an update on Smith's whereabouts,
this is someone I've tried to help, I've nurtured and cared for.
He says all he...
Okay, we got a couple people in the chat who are asking, who is this man? Is he family? The answer is no, from my understanding. I could be very wrong. I don't think he's family. I think he was just so-called trying to be nice by allowing them to camp out in the back of his backyard, from what I understand, but that could be wrong. He could be maybe a family member of the boyfriend. I don't know. But I think that's awfully weird that you will allow somebody that's pregnant with a boyfriend to live in the back of your house outside in the elements in a tent, won't let him into the house, and apparently nobody went out and called this out. They didn't say anything to family, to somebody. I don't know who you call. Maybe call Ghostbusters. I don't know who the hell you call.
Can do is pray the remains found by the river aren't hers.
Whoever it was,
But that's his house, his property, and they were living in the back of it.
somebody's child, somebody's daughter, somebody's girlfriend or sister.
In Raleigh, Holden Kerwicki, CBS 17 News.
I mean, I'm not going to point the finger at him. I mean, like I said, they were the ones put themselves in that position. Let me give you guys a couple more videos, and then we'll wrap up with this story. Got one more story to tell you guys.
And right now we are waiting for an official ID on a body found inside of a suitcase along the Neuse River.
It's our top trending story online right now. CBS 17's Liz Ortiz live in Wake County with the information we've learned about the hours leading.
Let me take a pause real quick. Let me say thank you real quick to Ashley S. in the Cash App, who took on the $15 challenge. And I want to say thank you if you're listening, Ashley. So clearly Ashley understands exactly what I'm saying, and Leanne, and to my guy Jimmy D. And we had a couple people donating the super chat and join the channel membership. So thank you to those people who understand what I'm saying.
Up to the discovery. Liz.
Well, Bill and Randy, we can tell you that this investigation continues. Wake County officials have not yet said who the victim is in this case, but we know friends of a missing pregnant Wake County woman are hoping it isn't her. Now, we interviewed a man by the name of Dale Williams who says deputies served a warrant on his house near Windell. This is where Brittany Smith and her boyfriend lived in a tent for months. Smith, who is pregnant, was reported missing last Thursday. Williams tells us he didn't have the means to allow Smith to live inside his home. He says all he can do is pray the woman found in the suitcase isn't Smith.
No one deserves to die like that, frightened, in pain, alone.
We're going to find out who's responsible. I can tell you that, because these things just don't happen. Okay, there's somebody's responsible. If this is in fact this young lady that we've been looking for all weekend long, someone is responsible for that.
Now, we have confirmed that deputies questioned Smith's boyfriend, but investigators say he is not considered a suspect in her disappearance. Again, we are waiting on the official identification of the body found inside of the suitcase. We're live.
I don't understand how the family wasn't capable of helping her. They were counting on this random dude. Just everything about this just seems real wrong. We'll skip this interview because it's really long. It's almost about 10 minutes long. It's a police interview. I'm going to show y'all these last two videos. But we got one more story. It's actually a positive story right after this one.
New developments are really upset.
Did somebody put insurance on her? I don't think so. It don't seem like anybody gave a crap, to be honest with you.
Story. There's a couple sitting in the Wake County jail accused of killing a pregnant woman and then stuffing her body in a suitcase.
Now, CBS 17's Liz Ortiz live in Wake County with what we know about the suspects. Liz?
Well, Bill and Randy, arrest warrants in this case show the victim, Brittany Smith, was 6 months pregnant with a boy. Now, Wake County officials have not released a motive in this killing, but the two suspects are due in court at 9 this morning, and that is when we hope to learn more details in this case. Now, take a look. Authorities arrested this couple, 37-year-old Thomas Johnson and his girlfriend, 24-year-old Emily Trevathan. The sheriff wouldn't say how the suspects knew the victim, Brittany Smith. Smith was last seen a week ago today, and investigators say she was strangled.
Breaking news, Wake County deputies searching for answers after finding a woman's body inside a suitcase along the Neuse River.
The discovery came just before 10:45 this morning in northeast Raleigh near Milburnie Park.
CBS 17's Holden Kerwicki is live at the scene where police are still investigating. Holden.
Well, Angela Russ, investigators have been searching all throughout this area, including the woods, all the way down to this riverbank where the body was found. And the sheriff tells me that one thing is very clear. This is a homicide.
It's not every day, it's not every morning that you find what could be a person's body in a suitcase. a river.
Wake County Sheriff Gerald Baker didn't mix his words after a woman's body was located along the Neuse River near Mill Burney Park.
It's safe to say that this is no accident.
According to Sheriff Baker, search crews had been combing the area throughout the weekend looking for this woman, Brittany Simone Smith, who relatives say is pregnant.
We've got a lot of folks who are very concerned about the whereabouts of this young lady. She's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a family member to a lot of people who have been working very hard trying to find her.
Smith's family was at the scene, but Sheriff Baker stopped short of providing them the closure they're seeking.
If this is in fact this young lady that we've been looking for all weekend long, someone is responsible for that. That just doesn't happen.
I did see deputies escorting a family away from the scene.
Yes.
They said they were going downtown for questioning. Was that just standard protocol? Or?
We have people of interest. You know, again, it becomes investigation is a process of elimination.
A process that Baker believes they'll quickly get answers to.
And we're going to find out who's responsible. I can tell you that because these things just don't happen.
Sheriff Baker did tell me that they believe they will be able to make a quick identification on this body. If you have any information that could help out investigators, you're being asked to call Raleigh Crime Stoppers. Reporting in Raleigh, Holden Kerwicki.
Let me go ahead and stop those news videos. Let me give y'all my closing thoughts. It's so much that is wrong with this story, and I know people are asking where are the family members. Let's just start with that first. Where are any of her family members before this happened? So whoever said that in the chat, shout out to you. Before. Because this woman clearly had problems before we got to this point, and that's part of what I'm talking about. Like, if we just look at the tragedy that happened, then we'll forget how we got to this point and how to prevent it, okay? What we talk about here is prevention. We don't want this type of thing to happen, and in order to prevent these things from happening, you have to look at how we got here. How did she get to this point? First and foremost, how do you become homeless? How do you end up being in a relationship if you don't have a place to live? How do you end up with a boyfriend who does the same drugs or doing drugs along with you? How do you end up getting pregnant if you're homeless? How do you end up having no kind of health care, no kind of nothing, going on your third trimester? Not a single family member in 6 months stepped in. Nobody did. Because clearly somebody knew where this woman was living, because she was living in the back of some random man's house, her and the boyfriend. So that also means that nobody checked on the boyfriend either. Somebody knew. They saw something and didn't say anything. So like I say, before we put too much focus on this woman, I'm not justifying her dying, but what I'm saying is that her decisions, her bad decisions, and the family's lack of care caused us to get to a point of where we are now. Doing drugs alone can kill you. How many people die every year, every day, every month from drug overdoses? How many babies die from drug overdoses? That alone can kill people. And on top of that, you don't have a roof over your head. If you don't have a roof over your head, you should not be getting pregnant. There is no excuse for that. I know I have a lot of good, awesome, amazing women in my chat right now that will ride with me on that and let people know that that's not right. That's not fair to children. Where are my advocates for children at? That's not fair to a child. These two people, they're going to go away for life for what they did. I don't even care why they did what they did. They just need to be convicted on what they did and thrown away in jail. Because what they did that's sick. They strangled that woman. Why? For no reason. There was no reason. You can't justify it. There was nothing bad enough. And whenever the boyfriend was talking about she was leading a secret lifestyle, I don't know what he meant by that. Was she sleeping around on the boyfriend? I don't know what that fool is trying to say. But I think the boyfriend knows way more than what he actually put out in the news statement. Because I didn't make that up. I did not make that up at all. But again, I want you guys to remember, the whole point about this is what happened to the children. Remember, we are the AFC. We advocate for children first, not advocate for drug dealers, not advocate for drug users, not advocate for anybody else except for the children. The children are the ones who cannot speak for themselves. That unborn baby cannot speak for itself nor defend itself against all of the choices that mama was making for that baby. And mama was making some real bad choices before we even got to the point of her being murdered. That's where we have to start this conversation. That's how we prevent these things from happening. And we need to make sure that the people that do these type of things and take advantage of people are taken care of in the court of law. And they need to absolutely be in jail for life for what they did to that woman. But we have to keep all of this stuff into perspective, okay? I'm DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC. And I hope you guys listen with an open mind and an open heart. And I thank you guys so much for listening to this stream. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel, okay? Because we're going to continue to keep exposing these stories and giving you guys a perspective that I don't think you're going to get anywhere else. You can bank on that, okay? Thank you. I need to shout out a young lady who was in the chat right now. I just saw her type. Let me see if I can find her name again. Because she is actually the subject of our next story. Where is she at? I just saw your name. I just saw her name fly by, but I was trying to get my closing thoughts, so I don't see her name in there right now. Let me see if I can find it. Real quick. Type something in there for me if you would. See if I can find you. I think her name is Flavian. I want to make sure I put some respect on your name. There you are. I want to make sure I put some respect on your name and make sure I pronounce it right. But I did want to make sure that you have moderator status and just let the people know that you will actually be the topic of our next story here. And for a very good reason, because I want you guys to understand that that individual that I just named in the chat, I want to give her a huge shout out because she is the epitome of what we've been talking about. How many of you guys know what I'm saying? We've been asking for people, if you see something, say something, and if you get a safe opportunity to make a difference, then do something. But I always tell people, don't do anything that will get you in any type of legal trouble, because I don't want people to be facing court, going to jail over trying to help somebody or help a situation. But if you get a good chance to help a kid, then hey, I am all for that. And I want to give that lady a huge shout out. This is the young lady that we're going to be talking about right now. She is the subject. And I want to thank you guys for, is she going to call in? I'm not sure. If she wants to call in, I'd be more than happy to open up the line. But if she wants to call in, she can let us know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of give my thoughts and my commentary on this story. Okay? Let me see. Hold on, DJ Matt 121. Hold on just a second, bro. You said you donated. I'm going to check that here in just a moment. So you're watching, agree with you about the case on the pregnant woman. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, okay, I didn't know who that was that donated. So that was DJ Matt 121 who took on the $5 challenge in the Cash App. So thank you and shout out to my brother DJ Matt 121. So let's talk about this. Let's go ahead and get started. But to her, if you want to call in, I'll open up a StreamYard and you can click that link and it'll allow you to call in. If not, it's okay. You don't have to. I don't want you to feel any pressure at all. I'm going to just give my thoughts on this story. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something I want to talk about, and this story turned out to be a very positive story, and I want to thank this young lady so much who is going to be the focal point, because it's one thing that I've been talking about for a long time, and that is hashtag see something, say something. And this woman not only epitomizes that, but she actually saved a child that was in a situation where these children can't speak for themselves. They can't defend themselves against against the tyranny of their caretakers, like I like to say. And I just want to give this woman so much props. But let me explain what happened, and then I can kind of give you guys a few more details. A Florida waitress has been hailed as a hero for saving an abused 11-year-old boy from his parents by passing him a note and asking, "Do you need help?" And you guys can see that very note right there. Police said that the actions of Flavianne, and I hope I pronounced her name correctly, Flavianne Carvalho, Carvalho. Flavianne Carvalho, and I sorry if I messed up your name, I'm sorry about that. The actions of Flavianne Carvalho helped the child escape a possibly life-threatening situation when she passed him a note at the Miss Potato restaurant in Orlando on January the 1st. Carvalho said during a press conference that when the family sat at a table, which are these two idiots that y'all see on my screen right there, and they just look like they're unfit parents. And I know that maybe you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but in this case, we are so correct in saying that these people should not be in custody of nobody's children at all. Just look at him in the... Look at him. Like, why do you look like that, sir? Like, he looked like he just drank a glass of gasoline. Does he not? God, they just look so unfit to be parents. But nonetheless, she said during a press conference that those two and a kid sat at a table, and she noticed that everybody got food except for the little boy. And I'm gonna tell y'all, and y'all wonder why I tend to make a lot of jokes. I make a lot of fat jokes. So don't get mad at me for saying this. There's a reason why. I'm a big guy, but I know the value of eating because my fat ass show be eating. I eat a lot. I don't miss a meal at all. But one thing I think is so hypocritical is when people like us that are big people, like these two fat individuals that y'all see on my screen, that I had to crop out because they're so big on my screen, is because clearly their whole life they've been fat and they understand the value of eating and never missing a meal and letting their eyes get bigger than their stomach. They clearly understand that. So if they know how valuable it is to eat, then why the hell would you ever subject a child and starve them? How many stories have we done on my channel about parents who have starved children, not only to the brink of being sick, but a lot of them have actually caused their children to pass away behind starving them, being malnutrition. So she noticed that that was odd, and so she decided to step in. So let me tell y'all about this awesome woman who is a hero in our book. The boy's stepfather by the name, and it did say stepfather, so he ain't the biological dad, and look, that boy looked like he's a product of incest or something. I don't know. But the boy's stepfather, Timothy Wilson, that dummy that y'all see right there, who looked like he took a shot of gasoline, told her that the boy would eat dinner at home, Carvalho said, before she noticed that the boy had bruises over his face and arms. And I've always told you guys, that is a key indicator when there is something wrong. There was abuse going on. I could see that he had a big scratch in between his eyebrows, and a couple of minutes later, I saw a bruise on the side of his eye. So I felt that there was something really, really wrong. In reality, Wilson and the boy's mother, Kristen Swan, were allegedly abusing him at home, including tying him up with ratchet straps. Do y'all hear that? The type of thing that when I go racing and I strap my motorcycle down to make sure it's on a trailer, make sure it don't rock back and forth, they took ratchet straps to a human being, a child, a small child, and they beat him and they hung this boy upside down. Those two idiots. The waitress said secretly she wrote a note reading, "Do you need help?" And she stood behind the boy's parents so they couldn't see him. But I want y'all to also notice something. The reason why that they couldn't see nothing, if you look at his eyeballs, that fool looked like he can't see out of one of his eyes. So that's why he couldn't see the note behind his head, because his vision, anyway, y'all get the joke. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Y'all get the joke. You see his messed up, lazy eye. But anyway, the child initially declined by shaking his head before he signaled yes. After Carvalho's second attempt, which is the thing that prompted her to call 911. In an audio release by the police from her phone call, she said, "I'm super concerned and I don't know what to do. Can you give me some advice? What can I do? The boy is with bruises and he's not eating, but the others are eating." When officers arrived on the scene, they interviewed the parents and the child, who was said to have winced in pain when asked to roll up his sleeves on his sweatshirt, revealing the bruises all over this boy's arms. Eventually, the boy's stepfather, Timothy Wilson II, who was 34 years fat, yes, I said he's 34 years fat, was first arrested on one count of third-degree child abuse. Wilson was later arrested for a second time on January the 6th and charged with multiple counts of aggravated child abuse and child neglect for his conduct involving his stepson, which investigators have likened to torture. The victim's mother, who was 31 years fat, Kristen Swan, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of child neglect for allegedly being aware of the abuse and failing to seek medical help for her son. After police arrived, the boy was taken to the hospital and doctors discovered that this boy was 20 pounds underweight and had extensive bruising covering most of his body. Police said that the boy's parents subjected him to various forms of abuse, including forcing him to do 30-minute planks. Where they, you know what, y'all know what planking is, right? Planks. 30-minute planks, and beating him if he failed. At a press conference, police spokesman said, "What this child has gone through, it was torture. Seeing what an 11-year-old boy had to go through, it shocks your soul." The boy told police that the ratchet straps were tied around his ankles and his neck, and that he was hung upside down from a door on one occasion. Jesus Christ. He said that he was hit with a wooden broom and handcuffed and tied to a large moving dolly. He also said that he didn't get to eat on a regular basis as punishment. The boy has been taken into custody under the Florida Department of Children and Family Services, along with his 4-year-old sister, who appeared to be unharmed. If Miss Cavallo would have not said something, saw something and said something like we talk about, that little boy might not have survived this, according to Special Victims Unit Detective Aaron Lawler. Rafael Cabrera, the owner of Miss Potato Restaurant, and I'm sure I didn't pronounce that name correctly, I'm sorry, but the owner of the restaurant credited a higher power for having Cavallo there that night to deliver this boy from harm. She explained to the news that Cavallo was not scheduled to be working on New Year's Day and was only there because another employee had to take the night off. The family was seated at the only table in the restaurant where Cavallo would have been able to hold up the sign to the boy without his parents seeing her. They said Khabib, who was Khabib, has launched a GoFundMe campaign to reward her employee, writing in the description, "The outcome of this story was only possible because of her act of kindness, compassion, and how fearlessly she stood up for this child. They opened up a GoFundMe." Oh my goodness. Y'all gotta see this. Let me open this up real quick. Now here's why I say, open up the wrong page. This is when I believe that GoFundMe is used properly. Let me show y'all something. This is probably the nicest, coolest use of a GoFundMe. This is what you should reward GoFundMe for. They open up a $10,000 GoFundMe just to show this lady some love, to maybe get her some days off of work, allow her to do something nice for saving a human being's life. And everybody clearly understood that. And they not only went above and beyond that $10,000 GoFundMe, they gave her $45,000 on her GoFundMe. And I think that there is no price that you could put on her saving a life. That's priceless. That is priceless to save a baby's life. And I think that is so, so awesome. And I wanted to shout her out. And matter of fact, what I want to do to represent us as the AFC, I've already talked to her about this. I'll make sure and post the link in the description box for her GoFundMe. But I want to send her like a t-shirt. I want to send her something, but I've already contacted her offline. But I want to say kudos to her and shout out to her. But I want to at least send her an AFC shirt. She is an advocate for children in every sense of the word. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let you hear the couple of news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Okay, you said she wants to come on and talk. If you're listening, if you would, click that StreamYards link. We're going to repost it in the chat. And let me know when you're on there, and I will absolutely open it up for you and let you hop on here. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and open up the StreamYard so I will have it open. But once you click that link, and I want you guys to keep in mind, I only want her on that link for now, okay? We'll open up the stream for other people to be able to talk at a later time. But for now, if she wants to call in, I'll be more than happy to have her on here. But I've got the StreamYard open. Just let me know when you click that link. Let me repost it for you. So not only are more people going to donate to that GoFundMe, but if you want to call in, we'll send you some AFC gear because, like I said, I've already talked to her. But let's go ahead and get started.
The warning signs may not have been glaring, but they were visible enough.
We have some customers here with two kids. One of the kids is with a lot of bruises on his arms.
Orlando restaurant manager Flaviani Carvalho sensing distress from an 11-year-old boy with his family, secretly flashing him this note, "Do you need help?"
What happened when you showed him that sign?
He knocked me. Yes, he needs help. And he made the sign with his hand.
Timothy Wilson II, the boy's stepfather, is behind bars tonight facing 3 counts of aggravated child abuse. Police say the boy told investigators his stepfather hit him with a wooden broom, tied straps around his ankles and neck, and was hung upside down from a door.
Even just seeing the pictures, it's absolutely appalling that this could happen to a child.
Police told NBC News Wilson denied the charges, though they say the boy's mother, Kristen Swan, admitted to knowing about the abuse. She's charged with 2 counts of child neglect.
Let me go ahead and pause it. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have her on the line right now. Let me ask you this, because I want to make sure and put some respect on you right now. Do you want me to show you on camera? Is that okay?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. That is so awesome. Let me go ahead and I'm a screen capture this so we can get this awesome young lady who epitomizes everything that we talk about at the AFC. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually have her on the line, so if y'all want to show her some love in the chat, there's a couple things y'all can do, like click the thumbs up, put some heart emojis, put some prayer hand emojis in the chat, show her some love. We are absolutely honored. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I want to make sure that everybody can hear you. Give me a moment. I'm going to replay this on my phone to make sure that I can hear you and everybody can hear you. So let me make sure. Give me just a moment. Click the thumbs up. Put some heart emojis. I got to make sure I can hear your voice. Just a second.
I'm good. How are you?
Oh my, loud and clear. Okay, good deal. All right, so first of all, thank you so much. I know it's probably late where you're at, but talk to us. I just want to hear you kind of tell us what you think about this whole thing.
The situation with the boy?
Yes.
So what's crazy to me how a person that is supposed to protect and care for a child do what they did. So it's insane and I cannot stand that. So on the night when they stepped in at the restaurant, I knew it some very wrong what's happened there. That all everything that was happened there was strange, was odd. So, and the only thing that I could think about it, it's in how can I do something to help the boy.
Right.
And thanks God, I know God guide everything and make everything possible to save the boy.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people might say what they would do when they're put in certain situations, but when you're actually in the heat of it and you're just thinking, you're just coming in, it's a normal day, somebody had to call in for work and you're thinking, hey, I might be able to pick me up a couple of extra hours, make a little extra money, and boom, this situation is placed in your lap. Like how did that make you feel on the inside when you realize something doesn't seem right here?
Oh, it's bad. It was a bad feeling. So I'm a mother of 2 daughters, and I just think my mother instinct is screaming inside my heart. So it's hard to define with words what I feel that night.
Where do you get the courage from? Because I know for me, my heart would have been racing. I would have been nervous. Oh my goodness, what do I do? I feel like something's wrong. I'm not sure, but I definitely don't want this opportunity to pass me by. Where do you get the courage from to step in and say, I'm going to think a little bit outside the box, and I'm going to try something and just kind of see what happens, see how the boy reacts? Where does the courage come from?
I don't know. I think it was my mom heart. So inside my head, I just could think about, I need to do something. And yeah, it's just that.
And so let me ask you this, because like I said, I know it's really late and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but okay, if I could ask you a favor, I would ask you to bless us with this. If somebody were to be in a situation, and I know what I tell people, but I want to hear from the hero. If somebody sees something that they believe is not right, what would you encourage them to do as far as making a difference in our world? How should they contribute?
Please just do it. Do it what need you to do, because I think if you are wrong for misunderstanding or judging a situation like that, the bad thing you need to do is ask for forgiveness to misunderstanding and did something. But if you pass that without doing anything, how gonna be your conscience after that?
Right.
So like the police officer told us, if action is not happened that night, probably you're gonna see a murder case on the news instead of a boy being saved. So imagining if I saw this news about the murdering of the boy, and I was in the position to at least try to do something to save him, and I didn't. Right. So I will never be okay with myself.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, and thank you so much for sharing that with us, because you actually epitomize one of the main stays that have been on this show that I've been talking about probably for about the past 2.5 years. That is hashtag see something and say something. And the reason I say that, because I've had people actually send me emails and they say, I see abuse, what should I do? And the first thing I always tell them is, if you feel that it's something serious, you can call the police. That's exactly what we pay our tax dollars for and employ them for, is for them to be investigators, for them to put themselves in harm's way, to be able to kind of go in and dissect the situation to make sure if something's okay, what can we legally do? It's kind of like, that's what we pay them to do. But exactly, it's much better to say something and be wrong than to ignore it and have it on your heart and in your conscience to say, dang, I could have made a difference, and you just ignore that. And I think that's kind of a thing that comes from really a higher place, you know, whether you're religious or whether you're spiritual. But I think it's something that has to be in your heart. And I'm thankful to have a platform to where people, you know, we can continue to share a message exactly like the behavior that you exhibited.
Yeah. So one thing is, I think we need to love and show love for others. Today, you are living a time that we just are. How can I say that? We are so selfish.
Yeah.
And we forgot to look to the other, to love the other, our neighbors. So if I do my part, if I pay attention around me, you do yours, paying attention around yourself, we can form a good and strong arm against abuse. So just let everyone be more love, be more care for the others, and we can change a lot of lives.
Yeah, thank you so much. And let me do this because I want to put some respect on your name. How do I pronounce your name? Because I do not want to mess it up.
It's correct. It's Flaviani.
Flaviani.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Flaviani, and I want to thank you so much for coming on. Would you care to give? I do this with everybody if they decide to come on. Would you care to give your closing thoughts, and we'll wrap it up right there?
Of course.
You've got the floor. Go ahead. Give us your closing thoughts about this whole thing.
So it's what I say. I said before. I'm thankful that I was able to see the boy and do something that night. And I just like to let this message, look around yourself and do whatever it's supposed to you to do to help someone. Don't be afraid. Just do it.
Don't be afraid. I love that. And I want to say again, thank you so much for being a hero, being an upstanding citizen, you know, looking out for the babies. Like I said, I mean, you made this world just that much better based on your actions. I want to thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now I'll keep in touch with you. Matter of fact, I'll try to find something. Matter of fact, I'll keep in touch with you, and whether maybe like a shirt like this or something, but we're going to definitely make sure and send you at least a couple of AFC shirts, because that's exactly what you are. You are indeed an advocate for children. You know, you're a mother, and that's exactly what we want to support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really
You have a blessed night.
that.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. How awesome is that? That made my whole year right there. That is awesome. And that young lady was so sweet. Flaviani made time, came onto the platform. It's really, really late right now, but I thank her for just blessing us with a moment of her time. We can actually wrap it up right there. I'm not going to even show the rest of these news videos. If y'all want to look them up, you can find them on YouTube. But also, if you guys want to find her fundraiser page, I will post it in the chat. And if you guys post by way of seeing this on my channel, oh dang, it's really long. Let me see if I can find a shorter link. Dang, that was really long. Let me shorten it up a little bit. Here's the shortened version, so that way I've just posted it in the chat so you can find it a little bit easier if you guys want to show her some love. Like I say, what she did was priceless. We can't put a price on saving a child's life, doing the right thing, and showing us how it's to be done. You know, and I want to thank her so much. And like I say, if you guys want to support her, we're going to send her some AFC t-shirts. I'm going to get on my job and take care of that part, okay? I want to thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart, and continue to be like Flaviani, and we all could be a little bit more like her, okay? From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Peace. And also, for everybody else who's listening, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you guys subscribe to the AFC podcast, the Advocates for Children. Thank all of you guys so much. Y'all have a great night, and we're going to continue to try to keep bringing you guys content that matters, that makes a difference, okay? Let me go ahead and wrap this thing up. If you guys would show some love to our sponsors, check them out All of our links are in the description box. Anything that you need, reach us right there. Have a great night.
Hey there, listeners. Are you looking for authentic design from brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Gucci, Michael Kors, and so much more at a price that you can actually afford? Well, let me introduce you to Nora's Authentic Designer handbags, shoes, and accessories, where we have designs to meet all of your needs. All items are 100% authentic, brand new, and being sold at prices you don't want to miss out on. Find us on Tradesy.com at Nora's915 or email us at norasauthenticdesign@gmail.com. Hey there, listeners. Are you looking for authentic design from brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Gucci, Michael Kors, and so much more at a price that you can actually afford? Well, let me introduce you to Nora's Authentic Designer handbags, shoes, and accessories, where we have designs to meet all of your needs. All items are 100% authentic, brand new, and being sold at prices you don't want to miss out on. Find us today on Tradesy.com at Nora's915 or email us at norasauthenticdesign@gmail.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.